Hello and welcome to Alley House in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. I'm Julie Wallace. I am not a born gardener. I didn't learn gardening until I was in my 30s. I do like puttering around the yard, and permaculture allows me to add planning and purpose into that puttering. I wanted to start with a map of the world to give you a better idea of where I'm actually located. I'm in North America, and I'm in the state of Michigan. Michigan has two peninsulas, a whole lot of water around the state. I'm in the center of that lower peninsula in a town called Mount Pleasant. My house was built in the 50s. It is just under 1,000 square feet, and I have 0.13 acres. My lot in town is 50 feet wide and 120 feet deep, so it's long and narrow. This property lacks a direct connection to the large backyard. The soil is very compact and it lacks potassium and nitrogen. The grass is ramshackle, mostly weeds, and in the summer it can be very crunchy. There are little or no eco-friendly practices inside the home, and my social network is very small. My key goals group into three very broad categories: resilience and bounty, ease and simplicity, beauty and retreat. Here's the base map of the property. Here are the existing plants and everything. You can see I've included trees from the neighbor's property as well. And there's one human, there are a couple felines, there are worms, butterflies, and a number of different flowers and trees and so on. Here is the front of the house. So this is the front yard, and you're looking at this from the middle of the street. Note that on the left, there is a fence really, really close to the house. There is a cedar tree, my neighbor's house that you can't see in this photo. You have another neighbor on the right-hand side and a really big maple tree. Here is that same photo in the winter. We get a lot of snow here in Michigan. Again, on the left, you can see the fence and the cedar tree, and that yellow is my neighbor's house, really close to mine. And to the right, you see the maple tree and my neighbor's home. Here is my backyard. It's a pretty big backyard for an in-town yard. You're looking directly to the fence in my neighbor's house. And here is that same photo taken in the middle of winter. One of the things that I really wanted to consider was what do I see? When I started to think about line of sight, well, I'm looking down the street in both directions. I see fences. I can see right into a neighbor's home. I can see into their backyards. I can see neighbors across the street. The neighbors can also see onto my property, so they can see, depending on what angle they're looking at, they can see straight into my bedroom. I do have opaque window coverings. They can see pretty much everything on the property, depending on their angle. Here are the edges and microclimates on this property. Gets a lot of full sun. The heat radiates and collects on the driveway. The grass can sometimes be crispy in the summer, which is really strange. There's also dappled light under the trees. And in the winter, some of those shady areas actually get damp. And here is the final design, or at least the final design for now. One of the major things that I'll do is redirect the downspouts so that that water sinks onto the property, and with any luck, I'll be able to address that crunchy grass. I'm also going to add stairs to the backyard and to the patio. I'm going to add a whole lot of garden beds, a trellis to block the neighbor's view, a pergola right by the garage, a little free library, and a fence to separate the property a little bit more. Inside the house, I plan to collect kitchen waste year-round and look into using bokashi. I already have a countertop dishwasher, and that actually saves water. I plan to rework existing window coverings, look at storm windows, and flip the location of the bedroom and the office. While working in this permaculture course, the inner landscape was incredibly important to me. Emergent design and being intentional and present with the process was really a key component. For example, I was really confused. Do I use a computer to design with, or do I use crayons? I really struggled to be able to design with an iPad, and I tried like 10 different things. I just couldn't do it. So my mentor suggested that I just take crayons and start scribbling. And when I did that, my design actually came to life, and I was able to let go of some of those preconceived things and come up with something that really works for me. So that really taught me that done is better than perfect. My social system currently is very small. That's that inner circle. It's small, it's safe, static, and secure. The arrows here indicate the outward growth in a safe, supportive way. My little free library is there, staying present and allowing the new to emerge. The animal life will increase. The local permaculture and gardening community is there. People will enjoy the beautiful and colorful yard, and I'll be blogging and teaching and writing. Designing for social interaction for me means adding that little free library, adding garden beds and pergola and animal life. All of these things will increase the interaction with the world. This also means I'm going to be working with a landscape company. My document goes into a whole lot more detail about this. I know that for me, I will need to stay present. I'll need to discuss non-negotiables with that company, and we'll work together to co-create a more amazing design with more detail than what you're seeing here in this video. I also wanted to include the social squirrels, because this is a really simple way to increase social interaction. I had my driveway redone in spring 2021. And after the concrete was laid, a squirrel jumped across and left their footprints. And I took some paint and circled those footprints. And then I watched as neighbors walked by and stopped and looked. And then, every so often I'd be outside and someone would stop and we'd talk about what those were. And people really enjoyed it. So this is a really simple way to increase social interaction. I also really thought about the right livelihood for me. I'm currently employed full-time in the tech world, and in the future, I want to be self-employed as a writer, life coach, and clothing reseller. I'm also currently working to minimize debt and make a lot of changes to the house while I'm fully employed. For implementation, hard timelines aren't my thing. I like things that are fluid and free and fun and very flexible. This design is going to be a North Star, a guiding light, and I'll stay open and present to what emerges. In phase one, well, some of phase one is already done. The patio is installed The compost has been relocated and I've gotten some soil tests done. There are some more things to do in phase one. I've got to get to a meeting with the landscape team. I want to redirect the downspouts and build the garden beds, talk with my neighbors, share the plans, and keep working towards those livelihood goals. In phase two, I want to flip the bedroom and office and renovate the bath and kitchen. I want to add a door from that newly relocated office into the backyard. That's going to really increase the way that I get from the inside of the house to the backyard. Hope I get to publish a new book and add more garden beds and layers. And then phase four, this is more of a dreamy phase to me. I want to add additional fun things into the backyard, replace my basement floor, remove and replace the remaining driveway with permeable concrete, and maybe even add a pergola by the kitchen door. Some final thoughts. The design for Alley House is a great starting place. It opens conversations with landscapers, and it begins to truly manifest the beauty of my inner landscape outwards into the landscape and surrounding community and world at large. I will return to this design over and over to reconfirm and reevaluate what I hope to achieve. This will help me stay on track and in the process and present moment. And it will also help me remember where my knowledge started and how far I've come. Many thanks to Heather and Penny for this incredible class. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this.